Hi friends, today we're talking about Don't Speak. Rita's father is sick, and with her family in tow, she visits her mother. But when they arrive, they find what they never expected. Written and directed by Jeffery, starring Stephanie Lodge, Jake Watkins, Georgina Jane, and Ryan Davies. Distributed by the fine folks at Uncork'd Entertainment, comes this weird monster movie. I have this weird fascination with Uncork'd's library. Not all are great, but there's always something fun about them. Jeffery's previous film, Cupid, being one of them. The film looks good and is edited pretty well. Cinematographer Ben Collin kept it in focus, and that's more than I can say about many other indie horror flicks recently. From what I can find, it was a pretty small crew, and I think they all did pretty good. It's basically a family drama at the beginning, but once the horror kicks in, everything else takes a back seat. I feel like Jeffery took a lot of ideas from A Quiet Place, the way the monster works, relying on sound to hunt its victims, and a few of the plot points. It's not quite a mockbuster, but it's pretty close, which seems to be a regular occurrence with Jeffery's films, like The Bad Nun and Clown Doll. Ryan Davies and Stephanie Lodge play the parents Alan and Rita. They're not great, but it's easy to look past it when the wackiness ensues. Both have went on to work with Jeffery on Conjuring the Genie. Georgina Jane and Jake Watkins play brother and sister Charlie and Ben. Both have been in Cupid the year before. They seem to be doing the best they can with what's given to them. Really, all the actors seem to be kind of stumbling through the dialogue. This is what I look for in low-budget horror. Is it good? No. But it's fun. It's hard to get better than this in indie horror flicks. A guy in a rubber suit chasing people around. It's goofy, it's fun, and it feels like that's what everybody involved is looking to make. There are some cliched moments that you can see coming from a mile away, but it's still pretty good. There's definitely some downsides. Characters just automatically know how the creature works, but there's zero explanation of how they know, and it wouldn't be a horror movie without characters doing something stupid. The things that they do are a little more baffling than normal horror movies' stupidity. Looking at the cover of the DVD, I thought it was going to be a really bad CGI monster movie, and was pleasantly surprised by just a guy in a suit. For the most part, they use the monster effectively, giving quick glimpses at first. The makeup effects on both the creature and the wounds the actors receive are a huge step up from Jeffrey's last film. The wounds look pretty gross and are applied well. The monster suit is a little rubbery looking in some shots, but since it's pretty well hidden in the shadows or out of focus for much of the film, it's not that big of a deal. But it's kind of hard to tell where everything is geographically and how far away from other places they are. The sets are limited to a few houses, a small town, and a barn. But sometimes it feels like the barn is a few yards from the house, but then a few moments later, there's a forest between them. While filming in the town, they do use some creative ways to make the streets look empty, but much like other indie horror movies, the continuity seems to be a bit of a problem. Some shots look like around dusk, but something is supposed to be happening around the same time, and another location looks midday. It's not immersion breaking, but when you see it, it's weird. And I imagine they only filmed this over a few weeks, so they were trying to get as much in as they could each day. The score's pretty good. Composer Dean McGuinness has worked on a few independent films and provided some additional music for TV shows like UK's MasterChef Goes Large and Australia's Got Talent. Sadly, it overpowers the dialogue in a few scenes, and it feels familiar, but it may be just his influences. Overall, it was fun. I had a few laughs at the absurd dialogue, but by the halfway point, I was invested. Nothing made sense, but I didn't care. The second watch was much better than the first. Ignoring all the negatives, I was able to see the positives. It's not an original story, and that's fine. I thought I was going to fall into the trap of many other indie horror movies, setting up things that never pay off. Like the reveal early on, Ben has gotten his college girlfriend pregnant. I figured they would have forgotten about it, but they reference it later on in the movie. The only thing that was set up that wasn't ever addressed is Rita's father. We never see him, and he's the motivation for the family trip. It's not the best dialogue-wise, but it's easy to look past as the family dynamic actually works. Have you seen this movie? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks.
Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, check out one of these videos.